Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here for our first virtual holiday benefit breakfast for A Child's Haven. I hope you guys came hungry and that you're excited because we have an amazing opportunity for you. You get a chance this morning to be cooking alongside Table 301's corporate chef, Rodney. I hope you're hungry and I hope you're still in your pajamas because I know that it is super early this Saturday, but we so appreciate you being here with us. We want to see you in action this morning. So as you're cooking, be sure to snap your photos in action. Use the hashtag HBB2020, or you can always email us, of course. My name is Shale Remien, and I am the weekend anchor and a reporter for Fox Carolina. I am so thrilled to be a host this year for our first virtual event for A Child's Haven. We have a lot of fun things underway, but before we begin, I want to make sure that we get to Valerie Riddle of Christ Church. She's going to lead us in an invocation this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and I am so thankful to be here. Let's begin with prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we gather today to give thanks for all our blessings. We are so thankful for those gathered here this morning, for all those who have planned and prepared this event, and for all who have given so generously of their time, their talent, and their treasure. And we ask continued blessings on this wonderful organization, A Child's Haven, and on all the children and families whom they serve through education, support, and love. And may this community continue to see more and more children who are thriving with families that nurture their success. And now, Lord, we ask you to please bless this food we're about to receive, the chef who leads the way, and all the hands who will prepare it. Bless this food for our nourishment and us to your continued service in all that we do each day. In the name of one God, our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Miss Valerie, for that. And we're obviously here today to raise funds for the amazing organization, A Child's Haven. For some of you joining us this morning, it might be the very first time that you've even heard of A Child's Haven. And let me tell you, they do some amazing work here that you may not ever see. But in order to see it for yourself, they have created an amazing video. Take a look.
A Child's Haven opened in January 1992 in a classroom in a church building with 6 children. Eva Hunt is the founder of A Child's Haven, and in the late 80s, she and others had been working with guardian ad litem and became very aware of issues with abuse and neglect in our community, and they felt driven to search for a way to help those children.
I'm a product of the child welfare system, and I was given an amazing gift. I was adopted to a family who took really good care of me and met me where I was and gave me the opportunities that I needed to get me to where I am now. So I've always felt this passion for helping other families and children who've gone through similar situations and giving them the tools and resources they need to reshape their lives. All the families that we work with are low-income families, have faced adversity in forms of maybe abuse, neglect, poverty, multi-generational issues.
A therapeutic child care center is a healing center. We heal the heart that is broken for these children.
These are children who have severe social, emotional, and behavioral challenges because of the traumatic events that they have experienced or the chronic adversity that they experience every day. So they have a clinical diagnosis. All of our 3 services that we provide are a continuum of care. So they are really designed to work together.
It's kind of a 3-pronged approach. The group setting, which is a therapeutic child care in the group here on site, providing also that individual work with the child, but also having the home visitation, which is, that third leg that kind of gives it that extra support.
Individual therapy is a time where you can work with the child directly. During that time, we are trying to build that relationship with the child and get to know their inner world.
She is diagnosed with high anxiety, just
all-out meltdowns. It was like temper tantrums, anxiety problems.
We know that children are resilient and families are resilient. So what we aim to do is provide the therapy that they need.
We are here to teach them how to socialize, how just to be themselves. You know, a lot of times kids don't know what self-esteem is because it's already been broken. So before we started here, I could not take her out in public. No one could speak to her. If someone spoke to her, we would have a meltdown in the store.
Our approach is a play therapeutic approach. We are getting down in the floor with the children, working with them on expressing feelings, learning about their thoughts and experiences, and to help them overcome trauma.
We're really proud of the team that we have. They're highly educated, they're highly trained, and I'm so impressed and in awe of them every day with what they are able to do with these children.
We have a strong collaborative relationship with the parents. So we may know a lot about what to do to help with problem behaviors, but the parents know everything about their own child.
We had to learn to adjust. The other kids were like, no, like she bites us, she takes our toys from us. So they just didn't want nothing to do with her at first.
A lot of the behaviors or problematic interactions or trauma history have happened in the context of the home.
So it was chaotic. It was like she would start and she would set off this one and this one would set off this one.
It's helpful for us to kind of help the families tease apart where they can make changes, where they could build on strengths.
They take you as a parent and help you build that relationship. So our house has actually started running smoother. When other doors are shut, we're still open, we're still running, we're still motivated, and we're still educating.
I have a lot of parents tell me, I never thought that they would be able to sit in a desk and sustain attention and do all these things that they're now doing.
Seeing a child come in the first week and then when they're ready to transition out of a child's haven, which is usually within a year, it's a different child. And the whole family is healed because of our program.
I do a lot and I don't mind getting my hands dirty because at the end of the day, I'm here for the children. Because of Child's Haven, my daughter's future is bright. She is going to make a difference in this world.
When I see these children here, I can empathize with the feelings that they're feeling, and I can also say that and know that they're going to be okay because of what they're receiving here at the Child's Haven. And for me, that is a really, that is a dream for me that is coming true.
I love seeing how they transform with you guys here at a Child's Haven. It's absolutely incredible. And with me is the woman herself, our executive director of a Child's Haven, Tanya Kamunis. And Tanya, I see you obviously getting emotional. My favorite part of that whole video is when you see, your passion really come through. From the second I met you, you could tell that you take your personal life, your passion, and you put it into every single day being here at a Child's Haven. So why do you continuously walk through that front door to try and make a difference?
Well, I know that video kind of chokes me up each time. It's a gift, like I said. It really is a gift for me to come through these doors every single day. We have created an environment here that is full of love and care. I mean, you see the children and you see the staff here who really love what they do. And for me to help create that environment and to help this organization grow and I feel like I am positioned to pay it forward and give these children an opportunity that they might not have if it wasn't for a Child's Haven, and that is a really special thing for me.
Yeah, it's amazing to see too, those kids in that video, they get frustrated and they can get angry. And then you see those therapists, kneel down next to them and really make a difference. And it's completely transformed in a second.
It is. I mean, the children who come here, they know that they're loved. It's when we're able to go through the halls every day and you see the therapist working with them one-on-one. You see healing happening right here at a Child's Haven, and that is just a really special one to know about, that we exist and that we have so much potential ahead of us. And that's what I'm really excited about today, is sharing some of the things that we're working on here in the upcoming year, what we've done this past year. We're really proud of it. And it takes a village. I mean, this community in Greenville, I am so proud to live in a community that just supports and embraces what we do, the important work that we do. They built this with their hands. This building was built by them, and it's an amazing thing. I do it for them, everyone at home. I do it for all the people before us. I do it for all the children and families that we've served and that we're going to serve. And then for all the staff too, who have such talent and want to make a difference. And I just feel really, really thrilled to be part of it.
Yeah, I'm going to take a page from what you just said. You said there's big changes coming up for a Child's Haven, and in TV, that's what we call a tease. So we still have a lot more to talk about when it comes to that. But I know that this wouldn't be possible without our sponsors and our donors. Absolutely. How can people really help out here?
Right. Well, this morning is all about raising awareness and funds for Child's Haven so we continue to do what we do. A lot of people don't really understand that it does cost a lot to do what we do. If we were to charge for the services that we do, which we do not for all of our families, this is a free service. It costs $55,000 per family per year. And this is because this is the best therapeutic services around. And this is a gift that we're giving to children and their caregivers. And so it's all about that. And I wanted to make sure that I get this right. So I am going to look at the script for a minute, Shale. So we have a few different ways that you can give. You can click on the donate button on your screen. And you can also text HBB 2020 to 44-321 on your phone. You can drop us a check. You can come by and give us a check, whatever you need to do. Every little bit makes a difference.
It really does. It can make a huge difference in a child's life. And also, before we move forward, we would not be able to do this without Table 301. I want to send it to their owner, Carl Sobaninski.
Good morning and happy holidays and Merry Christmas. I am Carl Sobasinski with Sobeys and Table 301, and I just want to thank y'all for allowing us to be a part of your day this morning. And we are very honored and proud to be a part of this special day and look forward to participating many more times with the Child's Haven, and we wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Alrighty, and thank you so much, Carl, for that. I want to introduce the man of the morning himself, Table 301's corporate chef, Rodney. Rodney, we were saying we don't even need a last name for you. I was saying you're like Madonna or Beyonce. You can just stand alone by yourself. It just needs to be Rodney. So obviously everybody at home should have gotten one of those boxes with a bunch of pancake mix and mimosas. Hopefully we'll be sipping on those in a little bit. So Chef, take us through what is inside. What are we doing here today?
All right. First of all, you guys are lucky. I didn't know till I got here that I could be doing this in my pajamas. I didn't get that part of the memo.
We didn't get the memo either.
So so you're already ahead of me in that. But we've got a beautiful box, and I think y'all did a great job with helping design this box and all this really nice stuff. It makes it just feel so holiday-like and Christmassy and everything, and it's just beautiful. So let's get into it. We'll take a quick look what's in there. And my box looks just a little different than your box. They like you guys more than they like me at Table 301 Catering. So you got neat little bags that say what's for the pancakes and what's for the syrup, and they left me to try to remember all that stuff. So in there, you'll have your bacon and you'll have some butter and all kind of stuff. But you know what? We'll come back to what's really in there in a little bit. But we're going to make some pancakes with a Bananas Foster syrup. If you have little kids that are going to join you in this meal, and I hope you do, you may want to just bust out your favorite pancake syrup that you use at home, because there will be some alcohol in this syrup that we're going to make today. So do that. I want to ask you to do a couple things before we actually get to cooking. You always want to think, what are the preliminary things? First is mise en place. That's the things you need to do a job, and that's make sure you have, a whisk or a spoon that you're going to mix with, and a spatula that you're going to do your pancake flipping and all that stuff. It also means the stuff on your stove. Make sure you have a pan or a griddle or whatever you like to do pancakes in at home. A lot of times, my wife Sarah makes the pancakes. She told me use this pan. So this is the pan we have. I have a little pot here to melt butter. If you have a microwave oven, you can melt your butter in the microwave, so we'll be melting a little bit of butter. And then you can use a saute pan like this, or a pot more like this if you want for your Bananas Foster syrup. I'm going to make a double batch when it comes to this that syrup, so I brought a little bit bigger pan than you might need at home. Do this, please. Turn on your oven, 350 degrees. And do that now if you haven't already done it. Your oven 350. Was there something else? Can't remember. No, I think that's what you need to do there. If you haven't chilled your prosecco, make sure you chill it. This one's already chilled, so I'll go ahead and make the drink, but you'll have plenty of time to get yours chilled down if you haven't done that already, and make your drink. So what better way to start a nice brunchy kind of breakfast than with a little bit of a mimosa. So here's what we'll do. We made like a holiday version of mimosa, and if you were making this from scratch, you might want to put some amaretto in there and a little grenadine, but we mixed all that kind of stuff up for you. So there's no amaretto in this. We wanted you to be able to give a little to the kiddies too. So we've got in your box both a split of actual prosecco, and you should also have a split of sparkling juice. So for the kids, maybe make it with the juice, and for the adults, we'll make it with the prosecco. Or, you know what? Sometimes you look at the clock and go, well, it's only 9:30. Maybe you still will drink it with a little juice, or we'll just wait a little while. So all those things are, oh my goodness, what do we do with this? Somebody, this is not normal for me here.
This looks like a rocket science
There's always
degree
going to be
necessary.
something a little different when you least expect it, and this has a plasticky thing. I don't think it's going to just...
We need one of those
open
knives.
for me.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So.
probably when you figure that out, the
Yeah.
folks at home can follow your lead.
Y'all work on, I'll tell you what, y'all work on it. We'll figure that out. I don't want to take too much time on it. When you see me again, we'll have that thing poured somehow. But all you're going to do is pour some of this juice here, which is, again, orange juice, a little prosecco, and in this juice, a little bit of grenadine, which is not alcoholic, and also some almond extract, just a little almond extract. So again, if I was making it from scratch, I would probably make it with amaretto. But hey, when we come back, we're going to make some pancakes, some Bananas Foster, and we'll have these drinks ready to go. I'll let you guys do your thing.
Oh, that sounds great. Of course, sipping on a mimosa is a great way to start your day, that's for sure. Hopefully the adults are preheating those ovens while you sip on the mimosas. And just to reiterate, this is the first virtual Child's Haven benefit breakfast, but they've been doing this for, what, I think 22 years. So pretty long run, and after 21 years, leave it to 2020 to put a wrench in things for us, because now, unfortunately, we can't be by you, but hopefully, like Chef Rodney said, hopefully you're still in your jams this morning. That makes one of us. But either way, no matter what kind of event it is, whether it's a benefit breakfast in person or joining us virtually, none of this would be possible without our sponsors and our donors. So we want to thank them now, Tanya.
Yes, absolutely. Let's begin with our community champion sponsors, Mary Lou and Pat Hartness, as well as John I. Smith Charities. Thank you so, so much. We also have several sponsors at our visionary investor level: Cigna, Vicki and Jim Davis, Greenco Beverage, and M. Ellis Pierce. Thank you all so much for your support.
And I want to tack on to that. It looks like I get to thank Life Lifter level sponsors, say that 5 times fast. Doherty and Manning PA, Greenville Maintenance Services, Katana Safety, Prisma Health, Publix, supermarkets, and charities. We have Resurgent Capital Services, Sea-Level Systems, Stratus Building Solutions, and Dana and Joe Thomason. So thank you so much for all that you do for a Child's Haven.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, I want to thank our partner sponsors, AVL Solutions and Table 301. And you wouldn't believe it, Shale, we actually have 40 more generous sponsors. We will not go through that list because I know everyone's hungry. I know, Chef, you have to get to work. But please check out your program, which is also in your in all of your boxes, and it lists all those sponsors. You can also go to our website, achildshaven.org, to see that full list.
Yeah, and I know Chef Rodney is doing his thing over there, but before we get to him, I know there's a lot of anticipation when it comes to that, but we want to share a very special performance from the kids at a Child's Haven. And Tanya, you know, just being on camera for a living, I know that it's hard. People think it's easy. It's not, especially for these kids of all people to get up there and sing. That's pretty tremendous that they can do something like
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sweating under this mask just from nervousness. So I can empathize. And just to put it in perspective, again, these children are coming to us with severe emotional, social, behavioral issues, and mental health diagnosis. So when they come here, we're working with them and we're teaching them self-regulation skills and wanting to expose them to more positive experiences to build that self-confidence, that self-esteem. So what you're about to see is a little performance from them, and this is a huge accomplishment for them, and also their caregivers. They are so proud of them. So let's go ahead and watch that.
Oh yeah, they did a tremendous job. I love that. Especially, it's a tough thing to do. So congratulations to them. I know that Chef Rodney, I know you're itching to teach us some pancakes. If you can teach me not to burn something within this hour, we have accomplished something.
Well, hopefully we'll get to do that. But hopefully it's not the pancakes. All right, we ready?
Yeah, you're ready.
All right, good. So
I
just wanted to double back. It turned out on this thing, it's just a twist. What can I tell you? You know, challenge. I probably could have gave it to my 3-year-old. She'd have been like, Dad. Anyway, so we got our Prosecco and our juice in there. And then you're probably wondering what this rosemary is doing in your kit there. So I just wanted to tell you this. This is just one thing that's going to help make it even a little bit more Christmassy. That smell of the rosemary kind of reminds you of the Christmas tree just about. So one thing that I like to do, and you know, I don't know if you got long ones. If you got a long one, maybe it's easier to drink it without just kind of eating it or whatever. But one thing that's kind of neat to do is just take this in your hand and just kind of give it a smack like this. And then when you do that, the smell of the rosemary is sort of already on your hand. Once you've done that, if you want to put it in, you can. Or if you don't even want to put it in, it doesn't matter. Because most of taste is actually smell. So when you have this on your hand and you're drinking this, you're going to get almost the same. So little trick for you might not have known. But, you know, those are for you all. And I will let you decide what level of rosemary you want in your drink. Okay, so what we need to do first here, we've got two things that we need to make. We need to make pancakes and we need to make the Bananas Foster syrup. Okay, so we're going to make the pancakes first. And the reason we're going to do that is because they have this thing in them called baking powder. And baking powder works, it needs two different things to make it rise. The first thing is moisture. So when it's in a dry mix like this, it's not doing anything. But when we add liquid to it, it starts to rise. When we let this rest, which we'll also do, it's activating, it's doing its thing. Then when we put it in the pan, heat makes it work again, and then we get those nice fluffy pancakes. So hopefully you're ready to do this. Hopefully we're all laid out, and what we'll do very simple is just take our mix and put it in our bowl. This is actually my pancake thing from home. I actually use this anytime I'm making pancakes at home. So I brought it in. Figured, if you're doing it with what you have at home, I'll do it with what I have at home. So put that in there. Then we're going to break into there a couple of eggs. So you can do this like where you can break your eggs into a separate container and then put them in, which is probably advisable. That way, if you get any shells in, you can take your shells out. Or you can do kind of like I do it, risk it. So there you go. And I just put them in. And then there's that. Then you have, there is one thing we actually really do need to do before we can really build this, and that's melt some butter. So if you have a microwave oven, you'll want to do that in the microwave. And if you don't, then you just do it on the stove, which is how I'm going to do it here. So we're going to take, everyone's got like kind of a chunk of butter like this. You're going to take off probably about a third of it, okay? And that's what we're going to put into the pancakes. The rest of this is going to be for the syrup, okay? So just kind of, you can estimate it. It's not really rocket science. It doesn't have to be exact. And we'll just kind of get that melting there. It shouldn't take too long. It'll be, again, faster in your microwave. We actually do have a microwave here. I just didn't know that when I was figuring out what I needed to bring today to do it. I should have remembered. I've been here before, but meantime, while your butter is melting, and we don't have to get the butter very, very hot. We just want to get it warm enough to melt it. And luckily, that happens at a pretty low temperature. It doesn't have to get too hot. So we'll get that going. Then we're going to add our buttermilk. So you should have gotten a container of buttermilk in there. And we'll just throw it right in. Boom. All right. And then when I was messing with the recipe a little bit, I realized that it needs a little more liquid than I wrote in the recipe. So I hope you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, you're going to be like, oh man, these are kind of thick. But if you're paying attention to this and you're with me, you're going to know that we're going to probably add a little bit of water, okay? So one thing I like to do once I'm in my bowl here is I kind of give my eggs a little bit of a scramble. So that's why I say you could do it in a separate bowl, but I don't want to make more dishes than I need to at home when, the hardest thing is clean up, right? So there we go with that there. Our butter's just about there. So even you might can see in there that there's a little bit of the butter that's not melted yet. That's okay. Take it off and just kind of swirl it in. Because again, we don't need to just, make this too hot, and we don't want to cook our eggs in there. So just get it melted and in it goes. Okay, we'll get that in. And then I discovered when I retested this recipe that I felt like it needed water. So I'm going to tell you this, put about half a cup of water. Okay, about half a cup. Okay, when I do this at home, by the way, I don't measure any of this stuff. I just start putting the stuff and I just look at it and go, that's about thick enough. That's about right. And that's it. So I don't recommend you necessarily do that unless you're comfortable with it. But there's always a judgment call. They always say like baking's a science and it has to be exact. And it does, but then they never tell you that there's this one little thing also that is this judgment about how much liquid to how much dry actually has to happen. So that's where you have to make a judgment every time. So I'm looking at mine here now going, okay, this is pretty thick for pancake mix. And even though actually I made a bunch of pancakes at the restaurant because we're going to feed a bunch of people in the other room there. And this is how much water I needed. I'm looking going, wow, I actually need more water here. So we will add some more water. And if you just watch me, we'll get it to where it's a nice consistency. The thing to remember too is don't overmix it too much. You don't want to overmix it. We don't need to develop gluten. We don't need to have tough pancakes. Also know you can do this with a spoon. I do it with a whisk out of habit. But you can do it with a spoon, okay? Now, once we've got it, it's pretty thick. I'm still gonna go with more. I don't know if I just put more flour in mine or what I did there. So you guys just judge, like I said. And there we go. All right. There we go. Yeah, don't worry if you kick it all over the place, If you have a dog, it's not less problem. So, all right, there we go. All right, so now you can see it can fall off, but it's still quite thick. So for me, I like them actually a little bit extra thick. I like when they fluff up, and I think they just do that better if you leave your batter just a little extra thick. So That's why I don't really follow the recipe. I just look at what I think I need as far as thickness. Okay, now we're gonna rest it. So all you're gonna do is set it aside. We'll let it work its magic. You'll get to see it. It'll sort of rise right there in the bowl, and then we'll kind of knock it down. Not quite to the extent that it's like a yeast dough does or something like that, but pretty good. Okay, now, hopefully I didn't go too fast. Hopefully your pancake batter is ready, and we'll roll right into the bananas Foster. So, okay, so you have some bananas. I also made a batch of this, so I thought I was gonna make a double, but I think I can get away with just a single batch today. So I put my other ingredients aside. I have 1, 2, and 3 bananas. All right, and we'll just put this out of the way. I should have brought a trash right over by me. We'll put that there for now, but I'll need to move that again. So, yeah, a little sous chef action. That's right. Okay, so first of all, part of your mise en place should be a sharp knife, just whatever is your sharpest or most comfortable knife to use. And I just naturally started cutting like I'm not telling you what to do. So peel your bananas, and then I like to just cut them in half to make them more manageable before I cut them into dice. So since it's a syrup, you want to be able to have little pieces of banana in every scoop of the syrup, right? So I start by cutting it in half, making it manageable. Then I'll run down one side. If you like, you can then go like that and kind of put them on a flat side. That certainly makes it easier to cut. And then we're going to just cut them into small pieces like that. Okay? So do it again. The way I would normally do it is I would cut it like this, and then I would just turn it and cut it like that again, and then down like that. Okay? But again, how you do that part, not important at all. Just that you end up with small pieces. And when you're cutting things to cook, as a general rule, you want to try to cut them in a way that they're all about the same size. In culinary school and in the professional kitchen, we're charging a lot of money for a plate. Things need to be looking really beautiful. We try to make sure every square dice is a square, perfect, beautiful. At home, nah. As long as it's the same size, because when things are the same size, they cook in the same amount of time. So that's it. So don't worry too much if your pieces get a little out of shape. It's just as long as they're kind of the right size, right? Okay. Now, do we have a way for them to ask questions and we can know that they're asking questions? And then someone can tell me the questions and we can get them answered. So if you're on Facebook Live, if you use the chat or something, then we can, is that what we're on? Are we on live, Facebook? I should have asked that already.
We're streaming on achildshaven.org. I know that.
Okay, so if there's a way to chat them in, if not, don't worry. Later you can kind of email me, Rodney@table301.com. If you have any questions after, you can do that. Or if you want to, I don't know what else you can do. Be honest, they can address that when we find that out, I guess. So I probably opened up a huge can of worms. That's just what I do, Okay, so this is the pan that I'm going to use, so we'll get some heat on. I haven't turned on my pancake pan yet because we're not going to use it for quite a while. If you have one of those plug-in electric griddles, that's what I kind of use sometimes at home if I'm making the pancakes or French toast, things like that. Then just set it for 350. You can sort of set it and forget it, so you can just kind of get that going anytime you want to. This type of pan is going to come hot pretty quick, so we're not going to put it on yet. There's a couple kids over here that I'm excited they're going to come out in that last section and cook with us and kind of finish up these with me. So, all right. So, always before you put stuff in your pan, get your pan a little bit hot. Okay. So, you've got your chunk of butter left. You can throw it in whole. If you do, it'll probably brown before it completely melts. So you may want to just which, by the way, won't hurt anything really. It's going to be even a nuttier flavor, maybe. Not a problem really at all. If it gets too dark, not good. So, all right. So once we start heating, we're going to put it in, put the butter in, and then right as the butter's starting to melt, we'll just kind of let it melt a little bit. Trying to make sure you can get a good look at it doing that. So if your pan's much hotter than that, take it off the heat. If you have an electric stove, just remember that when you make adjustments, it doesn't adjust immediately just because you wanted to make an adjustment, right? So if you have to cool quickly, just slide it off, okay? Just get it off the heat right away. Give your thing a chance to adjust, or maybe you don't even need to adjust your heat. You just slide it off for a minute, let it catch up, and you can keep your heat pretty high. I have a tendency, I've always sort of had this tendency. In fact, I bust the cooks on it all the time. We always think we have to cook everything on high. We're always in a hurry. We're going to cook it on high. Well, things don't always cook the best on high. You got to give them a minute.
We accomplished the not burning something already.
Yes. Hey, let me tell you something. We should really, at this point, we should multitask, because I actually forgot something kind of important, but we won't. So we'll end up a little behind, but I'll tell you why in just a minute. So let's keep this going just because we've started it, okay? Now our butter's melting. We're going to put in our brown sugar, okay? Just put that right in there. And what we should have done, and if you can work it in, or if you have a partner working with you at home, I really should have had a trash. If you have a partner working with you at home, what we should have done is laid out our bacon, okay? So because we want to get that in the oven, that's going to take probably 20 minutes-ish to cook. So right while I'm doing this, right now, we've got our brown sugar kind of melting right in there. I didn't bring an extra whisk, so it's okay. Huh?
We're improvising.
I know if I forget something, things go wrong in the kitchen. I can just tell you, things go wrong. You just go. You just keep going.
That makes us amateurs feel a little bit better, I will say, because everything that you see with you guys looks absolutely perfect. So it's nice to know. I'm sure for the people at home,
we struggle.
We're not perfect here.
Yeah, we struggle with stuff all the time. So because no one's working me right this second. And unless someone wants to come over, but you'll get your hands dirty, so you may not want to do that. But I'm going to just show you quick. So I pulled mine off the heat. You can do the same, or just watch this as I go and do it after, okay? I'm going to spray my pan. If I cook with a pan, I spray my pan. A lot of people at home, if they cook bacon, they go right on the stovetop. As soon as you go on the stovetop, a couple things happen. Number one, you splatter everything all over the place. You make a big mess, okay? Number two, your bacon wants to curl up and stuff. A lot of times you end up with bacon that's partially cooked, partially burnt, that kind of thing. Hey guys, one of you guys want to come do a favor for me? Come here.
Those are my two
okay.
Right there.
You know what you got to do for me real fast? You know what you got to do? You got to wash your hands. Can you wash your hands real fast? Okay. Before you touch food, wash your hands. They got you right there, okay? All right, you just come over when you're ready. We're going to keep doing this. Okay. All right, so I'll ask them. All they're going to do is lay out this bacon real nice for us on the pan, okay? And they'll do that, and then we'll get it in that 350-degree oven. Okay. Now, getting back to our stuff. So right now, my butter's melted. My brown sugar's melted. I didn't have a whisk. Didn't matter, okay? Now what I'm going to do is the fun part. And we're going to be glad to do it without the kids here. We're going to cut our orange in half. And now we're going to take this one thing. So this is rum. This is Myers rum. Really delicious. Don't drink it. Just put it in here. Okay? It's early. You can have a mimosa. You can't have the rum. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is come off this flame for a second and just put it in. And then we're going to come back and flame it like that. Okay? Now in your home, make sure your hood is on. Take it off your flame. If you have an electric stove, you're not going to flame it. Unless you take it off like this and you have one of those little stick lighters and you just put a little thing, okay? So we're going to do that. Once you've got that kind of flame going out, you can just kind of put all your bananas in. And we're going to squeeze this orange juice in. Squeeze it. Another really nice thing to do, if you just excuse my back for 1 second. It might say this on your recipe card, and you should have done it before you cut it in half, so.
A little zest.
1 second.
You could put a little zest. The zest is really, really nice. So just kind of put that in there. All right? And of course, we're going to squeeze that in there as well. All right, and that will just kind of work itself in a pretty short time, really, pretty short time. It's going to work itself into a little syrup. That's really nice. And then you have some cinnamon. I think, oh, I have my cinnamon open here already. I think with the cinnamon, you guys come on over. With the cinnamon, we're just going to go a little bit. I don't know, we don't have too much there. I think it's good. We'll put it all. You can decide how much you like. All right, come on around. All right, all you're going to do is take these bacons, okay, as quick as you can, and just put them there. Can you do that? Can you reach it? Okay, just lay them right out there. Nice and flat if you can. See how I did a sloppy one? You can fix my sloppy one, okay? Flat. All right, in the meantime, our syrup's coming nice. Let me kind of show you that. You guys keep focusing, okay? You got to focus. You got to focus. That's the hardest part. You got to focus.
It's the struggle of life.
They want to see that. They want to see the fire again.
I know.
That's what they want
Well,
to
we're
see.
not going to make the fire again. Maybe we make the fire again later, okay?
Immediately thought, girls, pull your hair back.
I know.
Yes. Yes. So, I don't know if y'all saw the teasers that we did, but we did one where we flamed it out, and I was like, I'm making pancakes. And I was like, we're making pancakes? What kind of pancakes are those? All right. But our syrup is are pretty much done with that. So you can just kind of turn it down and cook it for a little bit. Just make sure all of your sugar really gets melted, okay? Now, we can just finish laying this out. You guys are doing great. You can put them real close together. You know why? Because when they cook, they shrink. Okay? So we can put them really tight like that. See that?
It's looking really good,
Yeah,
guys.
you guys are experts at this.
Good job.
I put one more right in there.
That's right.
Okay? All right, that's all we need to make right now. So at home, you may do it with 2 pans, or you may have a pan big enough to do it. Okay, then this is the hard part, okay? I'll do this part, okay? This is already hot down here, so you just got to be a little careful, all right? So we'll just put it right in our oven, and it'll probably be in there for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, okay? And our ultimate goal is bacon that looks kind of like this. So you can see. On the cook-alongs, I never really do the magic of TV thing. We're going to really cook it in the real time. But like I said, we're going to feed a bunch of people, so I went ahead and cooked a bunch of it ahead and made sure that these guys could have some bacon in here. So when you get it crisp like this, I think that's perfect bacon. For me, I like it even a little soft. So, but that's up to y'all. I know a lot of people like it really crisp. I know some people that like it pretty much burnt. So just cook your bacon the way you like it. Set a timer. It's not going to take less than 10 minutes, so put your timer for 10 minutes. And then you can check it again, okay? One of my biggest mistakes I make ever in the kitchen is I set a timer, I check it, not done yet. I set a timer, check it, not done yet. I forget to set the timer, I walk away, burn the whole thing, got to do it all again. So that really happens. So, okay, so our batter is sitting here resting, and we've got our sauce pretty much there now. So we can just remove that from the heat and hold it. And when we come back to the kitchen, we'll get making some pancakes, all right?
Ooh, that's exciting. I'm one of those people that likes the burnt bacon.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say that. I'm sure
yeah.
that scars you as a chef.
No,
but
not at all.
Extra crispy.
extra crispy.
Yeah.
Tanya's in my corner for this.
Yeah.
I believe about food, people should eat it the way they like it. I'm not one of those chefs that thinks only I know how to do it, even though mostly I do.
That's right.
But
And these two.
you should eat it the way it makes you smile.
They
That's all
did
there is to it.
amazing. How do you guys like your bacon? Do you like it crispy or, yep, she's crispy. How about you? Soft? Okay, so we got the
Oh,
best of
see
both
that?
worlds here.
The boys stick with the soft
There
bacon.
you go. You're in Chef Rodney's corner.
And I should introduce these two little
Yeah.
chefs. So these two belong to me. This is Andrew and this is Jordan. They came today. And so tomorrow, I expect a Sunday breakfast. You think you can
You're
pull this
learning it.
off?
That's right.
That's
You're
right.
On your own?
Yeah, on
They
your
at least
own.
got the bacon part down.
That's right.
That we've got down.
That-
So
for sure.
Well, perfect. So basically, the big takeaways: maybe add some water to your mix.
Yes.
Don't overstir it. That would
Yep.
be me overstirring.
overstir it.